Hey guys, welcome back to story time. Today's theme is Under the Sea. So we're going to be reading a book called The Mermaid Queen. It also touches on empowering women, not only the ocean and the water. So we hope you guys like this story. Mermaid Queen, a true story, by Shanna Corey and illustrated by Edwin Fotheringham. This book was kindly donated by the Series Rotary. Thank you, Mr. Keith Griffith. The spectacular true story of Annette Kellerman, who swam her way to fame, fortune, and swimsuit history. Annette Kellerman loved to make waves. When Annette was a little girl, she lived in a house by the sea in Australia. Annette's parents were music teachers and her house was filled with singing and dancing and music. Every day Annette watched the dancers twirl and dip and whirl. She dreamt that one day she would be one of them, beautiful and graceful and fancy-free. But Annette couldn't dance. She could hardly even walk. To strengthen her legs, Annette's father taught her to swim. Annette swam, and the more she swam, the stronger she grew. Pretty soon she was slicing through the water, winning races and setting records. But in 1903, people weren't used to seeing female athletes. Annette's mother worried that people would talk. She wished Annette would do something more artistic. But swimming had made Annette's legs strong, and in the water she didn't feel plain or clumsy or weak. She felt beautiful and graceful and fancy-free. Annette kept practicing her strokes and making waves. When she wasn't racing, she daydreamed about the ballerina she'd loved as a little girl. She whirled and twirled. She dipped and danced and dived. No one was sure exactly what it was she was doing. But Annette didn't care one bit. She loved her new invention. It wasn't quite ballet and it wasn't quite swimming. It was water ballet. Swimming and diving filled Annette with joy. She wanted to show other girls how wonderful they could be. She demonstrated her dazzling dives at the local aquarium. A fine performance, trumpeted the papers. Annette and her father decided to show the world Annette's invention and exactly what girls could do in the water. They said goodbye to Australia and sailed for England. When they arrived in London, they went to Soho and the Strand, Piccadilly, and the Palace, hoping to put on a show. But everywhere they went, people just scoffed. A girl swimmer? Too plain, too plump, too weird, too wet, too bad. Annette remembered her mother's worries. If people saw a girl swimmer, they might talk, but maybe that was just what she needed. Maybe Annette should do something drastic to get people talking about girl athletes. Annette and her father rowed out to the middle of the yucky, mucky River Thames. She dove into the murky water. She swam for 13 miles up the river, dodging tugs and barges the whole way. "Loom, you're a girl," gasped the watchman when he pulled her out. Now people were paying attention. A newspaper even asked if Annette would try to swim the English Channel. The English Channel separated France and England. It was 22 miles wide, and only one man and no woman had ever made it across. But that didn't stop Annette. Annette and her father traveled to Dover to train. For the next 6 weeks, she swam from one seaside resort to another. When the big day arrived, Annette dove off a pier into the cold water. Splash! She swam toward France, accompanied by a steam tug and a rowboat. Whenever she got hungry, she slurped chicken soup or hot chocolate through a long snouted cup, or snacked on tiny sandwiches held out on the end of a long stick. Annette had outdistanced the other swimmers by a mile when she got seasick. She didn't make it to France, but people marveled over the young girl who had swum so far and so well. Why, she even made it look artistic. Now, all of England was talking about the Mermaid Queen from Australia. It wasn't long before Annette received an invitation to perform before royalty at London's Bath Club. Annette knew her mother would be proud. But just as she was about to go on the stage manager rushed over. He told her she couldn't possibly show her bare legs. Annette had come so far. She couldn't let something as silly as a swimsuit get in her way. She thought fast. And then splash! Bravo, jolly good, such strength, such artistry. After the performance at the Bath Club, word of the star swimmer spread farther. Soon Annette was racing her way through Europe. Next, Annette was invited to America to swim at Wonderland Park in Boston's Revere Beach. America, the land of the free. Annette couldn't wait. But when she arrived at Revere Beach, she was amazed at what the American ladies were wearing. Stockings and shoes, bloomers and bathing dresses, collars and corsets and caps, all for a day at the beach. While the men and boys splashed in the surf, the waterlogged ladies could only bob up and down near the shore. How could anyone possibly swim in that? My word, marveled Annette. Then she slipped on her racing suit and dove into the water. Splash! The Bostonians were beside themselves. They screeched and squealed and shrieked with terror. Hey, what are you doing in that suit? Asked a policeman. Annette was arrested. Your Honor, Annette told the judge, swimming is the most wonderful and healthy exercise. Why, every child in America should be taught to swim. The crowd gasped. Then Annette asked the judge how women could possibly be expected to swim in bathing suits that felt like lead chains. Everyone waited to see what would happen. Would Annette be banned from Boston? Would the judge send her to jail? No. No. The judge let Annette go. The next morning, the beach was filled with reporters waiting to see what kind of waves Annette would make now. At the water's edge, she threw off her robe. Flash went the cameras. Oh, breathed the crowds. Annette dove into the cool blue water. She whirled and twirled. She dipped and dived. From the shore, the ladies watched in their hot, heavy suits. Eventually, some of them tried Annette's style. They swam out in the surf in their sleek new suits. They whirled and twirled and dipped and dived. Ah, they sighed with relief. And women and girls have been enjoying the water ever since, all thanks to Annette Kellerman, who was brave enough to make waves.